taking quick action, approving a $13 billion deal to help Ukraine.
School districts across our area tell us they're seeing significant increases in children that are homeless.
I'm announcing another $800 million to further augment Ukraine.
A revealing look at homelessness among the middle class.
US have announced new military assistance for Ukraine. They promised an extra $713 million.
We experienced as a county a 22% increase in homelessness.
The Senate overwhelmingly passing a new $40 billion Ukraine aid bill.
We are learning the homeless problem we are seeing in Knoxville is growing at an alarming rate.
The U.S. is sending an additional $700 million in military aid.
We're in dire straits. We don't know where we're going to go. We have no savings.
The U.S. is sending an additional $1 billion in weapons and aid to Ukraine.
The CEO of the Coalition for the Homeless in Central Florida tells me this is a scary trend.
Pentagon announcing today it's sending a new $450 million military package to Ukraine.
Tonight we are going in depth on the issue of homelessness, of course, a growing problem here in Colorado.
The U.S. sending an additional $400 million in military aid.
Rising housing costs and inflation are leading to more people living on the street.
The United States is sending another $1 billion
in military aid. 69,000. That's how many people are homeless across LA County.
A new aid package is going to be announced tomorrow, including an additional $3 billion to train and equip Ukrainian forces.
Sacramento's homeless population had a jump of 67%. The White House now asking Congress for more than $13 billion in additional military aid. More than 2,500 students within the district don't have a place to call home.
Yeah, Katie, and that's 1,000 more from last year.
Well, the Biden administration preparing to send another $600 million military package to Ukraine.
There's a stark warning from city officials tonight as they're seeing a record number of families out on the streets.
$275 million to meet Ukraine's critical security and defense needs.
One LA County city is close now to declaring a state of emergency over homelessness.
The White House is also asking for $37.7 billion to fund the war in Ukraine.
Housing prices are up 17% from the previous year, and you can see the fallout of that just right behind me here.
Hello, my friends. Hello, my family. We are back. Another episode of RBN Live. That's an amazing video. I want to give a shout out, friend of the show, Turncoat Dan, for putting that together. This is what a failed state looks like. This is I want to at least get a shout out to the guy who made this. And as he said, the recipe for a collapse of an empire. And as the working class in this country continue to be left behind, I got personal friends, I got personal family members who are underwater. Meanwhile, there's so many people who are privileged who are ignoring the blatant class war that has been waged on workers. RBN and our friend Kit Cabello, he's going to join us here soon. We got powerful guests from Heartlands Media and friends of our show. If you look at Black Agenda Report, Danny Haifong, I'm going to try to get him on sometime next week. So Danny's going to be on the show. Margaret Kimberly on Monday. Let's go, fam. Let's go, fam. Let me put the banner up. We have a lot of good guests coming through. I'm going to do a great guest run for us. So we have the military-industrial complex, because we got to frame these things correctly. The military-industrial complex siphoning money from the working class. The corrupt politicians who literally get campaign donations for the military-industrial complex. Then the politicians vote for military packages to Ukraine while the working class is struggling. Now Raytheon and Boeing has record amount of profits. They made weapon CEOs, manufacturers, and their friends have made a fortune this year because of the Ukraine war. Meanwhile, the NATO left, the Bernie Sanders left, couldn't give a shit. Could not give a shit about the blatant heist of the working class. This is the message coming from RBN, and this is the real reason you guys see us catching heat from the NATO left, from the real Democratic Party operatives, because we say no, not, oh, you vote for whoever you feel like you should vote for. No, we don't vote for anyone. We don't support anyone who was complicit with the NATO and Ukraine money laundering scheme. That's a hard line to me, especially the same way as standing for the Palestinians is a hard line. The progressive movement has no bottom. And I'm glad that Norman Finkelstein called them out. We covered this. Jimmy just covered this as well. He called out the NATO left and the people who still apologize for the NATO left. You got people still, you got people excited for Bernie 2024. No, this shit is done. It's done, guys. It's over. And the people who super excited over like Bernie 2024, that shit is kind of sus at this point. Bernie chose the military-industrial complex and the Democratic Party over you. And now Bernie has a new grift. And I'm going to give you in here, Kit. Give me a thumbs up when you're ready. We got a guest in the house. I'm going to show you guys this. And I'm going to get Kit Campbell in here. Because the word grifter, and this is what Misty, my friend comrade Misty brought up. The word grifter gets thrown around all the time. Whenever someone doesn't have an argument, they tend to throw that out to defend politicians, right? I said this 2 years ago. If you're going to call anyone a grifter, if you're going to call anybody a grifter, why are we calling working class poor people that's calling out politicians and the ruling class? You guys are calling them grifters? The biggest grifters in the world right now is U.S. politicians in the DCCC. The DCCC, our revolution, Justice Democrats, the Sunrise Movement, these people are the biggest grifters on the planet. Are we clear? Bernie Sanders set to publish a new book outlining his vision for the political revolution. Get the fuck out of here. But people want to call independent media. People want to call reporters that are speaking truth to power. That's educating people about the lies that come from the military-industrial complex, their media allies. They want to call us and other reporters grifters because we advocate leaving this pro-war party. Bernie Sanders about to buy another mansion, another house, selling you this false idea of a political revolution. This is clown shit. His vision for the political revolution? No, this is new, Kathy. I didn't do a chat check yet, but that's new. Bernie Sanders about to write another book. How to Russiagate yourself by Bernie Sanders. How to sheepdog your revolution to a Democratic Party by Bernie Sanders. How to accuse your own supporters of being sexist by Bernie Sanders. Isn't that great? What's up, kid? I'm going to give my great friend.
How are you? How are you, everyone? Thank you for the opportunity to be on your show. I do appreciate it. So, look, let's just unwrap a few things here.
Go ahead, kid.
I didn't mean to cut you off, but if there's anything, okay. So, first of all, I said this to you behind the scenes before we went live, but I'm going to say this right now about Trump, okay? And I've been reflecting on it more and more since he made his announcement.
Yeah, I'm curious.
But why is it that rich white liberals, predominantly rich white liberals, are making a 2024 Trump campaign and potential presidency everyone else's problem? See, the issue is Trump is that he didn't design the political system we're living in. He's a parasite. He knew how to survive in it. He survived 6 bankruptcies in this system. He used to be a Democrat. I'm sorry, white liberals who are at brunch who are right now crapping their pants because the orange boogeyman is back. He used to be a Democrat. And I quote Dave Chappelle because during his SNL monologue, he was saying, hey, look, Trump was the first one to tell you, yeah, the system's rigged. Why? Because I use it. But let us never forget, during the first Republican primary debate, when the issue of money in politics was talked about, one of the rare moments that flew over everyone's head, and he said, I give these people money, being the politicians, that's who he was calling at the time, I give these people money, and they do what I say. When the moderator asked the other Republican contenders on that stage who took money from Donald Trump, majority of them raised their hands. So if we just decide to time travel just a little bit backwards, when a U.S. senator by the name of Hillary Clinton was a Democrat and Donald Trump was a Democrat as well, one must wonder if he gave her money and did she do what he said? Because they're obviously very close to one another. The Clintons and the Trumps knew each other. And this is supposed to make me panic. Well, guess what? If everyone's so scared about another Trump presidency, know this, the Biden-Harris administration has still implemented a lot of Trump's foreign and domestic policies. And those kids in cages, Trump didn't design it. That happened under a president named Barack Obama and his vice president, Joe 30330 Biden. So this whole idea of panicking and that every democracy is at an end. We live in an oligarchy. So if you vote Democrat, if you vote Republican, I'm not going to treat you like somebody who believes in Santa Claus or any other kind of fairy tales. I'm going to look at you as a person who is in a domestic abusive relationship. Okay. You're being smacked around and you think that the said politicians that you elect in Washington, D.C. care about you. They don't. They don't like you. They don't think about you. They don't respect you. You think Dianne Feinstein or Nancy Pelosi care about women's reproductive rights? No. You think any of the Democrats or the Congressional Progressive Caucus, if they had the opportunity to take that seat of power away from Nancy now that she is gone, you think any one of them are going to fight for progressive policy issues? No, they aren't. They lack the soul to fight because they're part of the establishment. If they were ever to enact women's reproductive rights or Medicare for all or student debt forgiveness, you know what the Democrats lose? They lose the ability to fundraise. They lose the ability to scare you. They lose the ability to not control what you think so they can dangle that carrot right in front of you. See, because I'm getting angry. I'm getting tired of being told to be scared. We're already seeing madness and insanity take a hold of our government and our democracy and our nation. Why? Because more and more people are becoming homeless. Whether you're Democrat or Republican, guess what? Look around your state. It doesn't have to be in big cities. It's all over the place. People are suffering from homelessness. People are losing their small businesses. We're suffering from an opioid crisis. We have student debt. We have medical debt / medical bankruptcy. We don't have the things to take care of our people, but yet our politicians have gold-plated health care. Again, a 6-figure salary and other wonderful social benefits. So explain to me, if you vote Democrat or Republican, while you take off your glasses, and I see that you have a black eye right there from your spousal, who you vote for, Democrat or Republican, and tell me why you think they respect us. Why do you think they think about us? Please explain to me why I should waste my time to vote and participate in a two-party system. Now, yes, I do vote, and I understand everyone in the audience is burnt out by electoral politics. I'll support independents. I'll support third parties. I'll vote for that. And I'll support ballot initiatives because I live in a state with ballot initiatives. That's what I believe in. But if you're expecting me to start panicking because the orange Cheetos coming back in the White House, know this. He did not build this system. Biden built it. Nancy built it. The Bushes, the Kennedys, the Obamas, they all built it. So stop telling me to panic. I didn't mean to rant, but I just had to get that off my chest because I'm tired of being told to be afraid in a system that is out of my control, but has successfully divided many Americans. So what I say to you, people who are watching, politely, talk to your neighbors, your friends, your coworkers, your family members, all of that. Because if they vote Democrat or Republican, it is our social responsibility to wake people up. It won't be an easy road, but it's the only option we have left. We got to start building movements and organizations not connected to Washington, D.C., so we can break away from the two-party system.
Kit Cumbello from Heartlands Media, ladies and gentlemen. Ladies and gentlemen, my good friend Kit. This is why I always got to bring Kit on every few weeks. Always fun to chat. And you hit the nail on the head on so many ways. Donald Trump is just an average member of the ruling class. You guys realize that? It's so ridiculous to have Trump derangement syndrome when you see Kamala Harris. Kamala Harris is literally friends with Benjamin Netanyahu.
Mm-hmm.
Benjamin Netanyahu is everything they say about Trump and more, and unapologetically. Like the worst analysis of Trump that you hear from liberals, they say Trump is an ethno-fascist, right?
We've had ethno-fascists. I don't mean to cut you off, but just throwing this out here. But that expansion westward, I guess we got all those territories from the Native Americans with a handshake and a high five. There was a genocide that took place because if you look back to the Nuremberg trials, and again, not verbatim, but when the people who were judging the Nazi war criminals, when they were asking, well, why did you do this? I think one of them said, "Hey, we looked at how you guys handled the Native American question. They learned it from us in America. That expansion westward. I guess it was a handshake and a high five. Oh wait, there was a genocide that took place here. So Trump being called an ethno-fascist Hitler 2.0. Okay, not making a controversial statement. At 3, 2, 1, of all the ethno-fascists or tyrants that we might have had ruling over us, Trump's at the bottom of the list, all right? Because
he's an amateur. He's good at winning. Well, he used to be good at winning elections, apparently. But I don't know your thoughts on that. But Trump has lost his last 3 elections. Like if you count 18, 2020, in 2022 as a like disappointment. Depends on what your take on that is. But look at this. I want to show you guys this as an example of why I don't have Trump derangement syndrome. So even if you do believe that Donald Trump is an ethno-fascist, everything they say about Donald Trump, Netanyahu is. Do you understand? Netanyahu now, he got a far-right government in Israel. Can you imagine if Donald Trump put together the kind of government that Netanyahu did? I did a segment earlier this week where there was a liberal Zionist who was explaining, like, imagine if Donald Trump had a cabinet of Marjorie Taylor Greene, Lauren Boebert, Sean Hannity, John Bowen, and put all of them together. That's what Benjamin Netanyahu just did. Netanyahu is considered the moderate position in Israel because his position is we should limit the amount of Palestinians we kill. And so the people to his right, like, no, we shouldn't limit the amount of Palestinians we should kill. We should be able to kill as many Palestinians as we want. And Netanyahu's like, chill, you're making us look bad, bro. That guy, the guy who was really an ethno-fascist, Joe Biden and Kamala Harris is friends with.
Well, the thing is,
look, you see the headline patch to you, kid, but look, here the headline patch to you. I just want to read it, so just in case people who just only listening, the headline is, my friend Joe Biden and Kamala Harris. Benjamin Netanyahu speaks of his warm relationship with U.S. Democrats, but they want us to be afraid of Trump. This guy is the epitome of evil. Israel's bombing Syria. They want to wage war against Iran, and Netanyahu, like 15 years ago, was the guy who leaned the charge. Now he's to the left of his government. But Kit, what are you about to add to this?
We have money for war. We have money to sell weapons. We have money to bail out banks and corporations in Wall Street. And I hope everyone's able to hear me properly. I'm sorry, because I think my microphone wasn't properly. So hopefully that's coming in better now. We have money for all of this, but our country is quick to abandon the people. So there is also a crime, a severe crime that's taking place here. And it's a slow, gradual decline of us as a people. And the thing is, the reason why we're not paying attention to it right now is because it's a slow boil. We're in a pot that is starting to bubble, and we think that the water's fine. We think that everything's okay. But as the heat starts to intensify, every one of us will be struggling and panicking. There is a sickness here, and it's being caused by our leaders. They're allowing this to continue on. They're allowing us to, again, be deprived of basic needs and rights. And before anyone types up, well, personal responsibility this and personal responsibility that, our government abandoned us in 2020. And all this talk about recession and panicking and rise of gas prices, it's all part of a plan. And the thing is, the reason why things are rising up is because when the government failed, when all of our institutions failed in providing relief and security for the American people, especially in 2020, well, a lot of the businesses got hurt. So what are they going to do? Continue to bleed the American people. And mind you, when we were on lockdown, how many Americans could really go into work? How many Americans really lost their ability to provide for themselves and their family members? A lot of people lost everything. That's why I always say these politicians, they don't like you, they don't think about you, and they don't respect you.
Well said, kid. Now I want to get your opinion on this. I want to continue with this insanity with the NATO left and the lack of revolutionary discipline you see on the left. And so voting for Joe Biden is to me the same as voting for Donald Trump. To me, it's the same egregious sin. I don't know if I have time to cover this today, but I'm gonna cover this here very soon. Joe Biden, he's now shielding Saudi Arabia and granting them complete immunity, the same way that Donald Trump did after Biden uncovered that Saudi Arabia killed Jamal Khashoggi. And they killing not only him, he's a high-profile guy. They have ramped up their killing of dissidents. So Biden is doing worse than Trump in terms of shielding. So they criticize Trump for not doing the investigation. I'll put this tweet up here in a second. They criticize Trump, rightly so, they're like, oh, Trump not doing enough. Trump is not doing enough on Saudi Arabia. He refuses to investigate his good friend. They refuse to investigate his good friend, the Crown Prince of Saudi Arabia. Joe Biden takes office and does worse than Trump because Trump refused to investigate it. Biden investigated the killings, found that the Crown Prince was guilty, then decided not to do anything and give him, not do anything. I misstated. To give him a shield of invulnerability on this case. So you guys realize that Donald Trump just not doing the investigation is better than that? Biden said, "Oh, yeah, you did, but we're not going to do anything about it officially." And I shared this story. I'm gonna see. What if I have it bookmarked? I can pull it up real quick. I'm kind of going off the rails here. Here it is. Yeah, because I shared this a few times. I want to get your thoughts on this too, kid.
Okay.
Little of a side story here. You guys know how we do on RBN. Hopefully we have time for the Jon Stewart clip as well.
Oh, well, I think we will.
This is an old article. Look, this came out last May. Not this May 2021. And as far as I seen, we was the only people that reported on this because I covered foreign policy pretty extensively on this show. This is under Biden. Weak U.S. let Saudis jail more dissidents, says rights group. So when Biden does the investigation and it shows, he's definitely guilty of the crimes we accuse them of killing journalists. But even though we know they're guilty, we're not going to do anything about it. That makes it worse because then Saudi Arabia gets this message that we are above international law, which they are. Remember what Cuba said when they voted no against condemning Russia? They said if we do that while upholding U.S. contradictions, we will create a situation where U.S. allies and people shielded by that hypocrisy are above the law. And Israel and Saudi Arabia, they are aware of the hypocrisy and this shield that is granted by the West. So since they know that, they are now doubling down. But they're like, holy shit, Biden lied. They were afraid, kid. I know I'm going for a while, but do you guys know Saudi Arabia didn't know what was going to happen? They was like, oh shit, we need Trump to win because if Trump win, they can continue to protect us. Because unlike us, they hear the propaganda. They hear Biden say they're going to go after Saudi Arabia. They don't know if that's true or not. They're sweating, right? So then they wanted Trump to win. Then Trump lost. They're like, oh, shit, fuck. Now they might go after us. Then they're like, nah, we were just playing. That was just some bullshit. They're like, y'all almost got us. You almost scared us for a second, Biden.
They're never going to do that. It's all the fact that you had people probably thinking that it should show all of you. Sorry for that stutter. It should show all of us and anyone that's not paying attention that the United States policy towards Saudi Arabia will never change. Period. I mean, the only person who was up front was what we're doing with oil was Trump. I mean, let's face it. I think it was Assad or some other leader in the Middle East who said Trump is the most transparent president because the reason why the U.S. is intervening is because he said it so himself. We're here for the oil. That's it. Any other president, be it Reagan, Bush Sr., Clinton, Bush Jr., Obama, Biden now, we're there for freedom. We're there to rebuild a government or institution, ensure democracy or
now
human
the
rights.
Are repeating
all of that. So the thing is, you show that article, and now we see what happened recently. Hey, white liberals, you're at brunch, and now you're starting to panic. Again, if you want me to treat you like a moron, white liberals, I will, but I will not have any one of you talk down to me in a way to where I need to start being afraid of Trump. I know what to expect from Donald Trump. At least he's honest when he tells me his policies or how he views policies that I agree. I know where I stand with that liar. And at least with him, Trump being the liar who he is, I can expect him to not give a damn because he doesn't. But with the Democrats now, we see the Democrats are still implementing the same policies that Trump has done. And they're not returning the soul back to America. They're making sure everyone goes to sleep. I have to say this, Nick, and I'll keep it short. But where are those large protest groups at when Roe v. Wade was overturned? Where are you at? You promised that you'd do that in the streets if this was going to happen under Trump. Where are you? For all those protesters who march for Black Lives Matter and so much more, where are you at? The crimes and social injustice are still happening, especially under the Biden-Harris administration. For all those anti-war groups that were saying that Trump was going to cause World War III, where are you at? Where are all of you at? Controversial statement here, all right? And may I be quoted on this? But all those big-time activist groups, all those people who were screaming about how Trump is the great evil, without Donald Trump, none of those jagoffs would be relevant. Trump made sure that they would be relevant and gave them jobs. All these heavy hitter activists who were frontline people, who were upset with him was climate change or war or social injustice. All you headliners who made a career for yourselves, got book deals, or maybe on TV, or have like millions or hundreds, being generous here, hundreds of thousands or maybe millions followers on social media, or actually got into office because of Trump. Without Trump, you would be nobody. Trump made you. He's like, again, it's like the Batman and his villains, or it's like without Batman, none of these villains would exist. Well, Trump is their Batman. Okay, so all these people who are so scared of Trump, guess what? Your career is going to get a boost because you needed that orange boogeyman. Hey, guess what? Corporate media, CNN, MSNBC.
Aren't they
ABC,
overcompensating because of that, kid?
Yeah.
Don't you think? I think they overcompensating because they feel guilty because they know that they benefit from the chaos.
Yeah.
So they got overcompensate. Like Jank, the MSNBC. I'll pass it to you, kid. That's such a great point. Go ahead.
Yeah. Well, the thing is too. Remember, when Trump got into office, or when he was running his campaign in his 4 years, the ratings were never better for CNN and MSNBC. They need him. That's their orange cocaine. They need that. And their ratings are going to start getting boosted back up. Trump is good with ratings, unless he's really just going to show his rear end and not run his campaign, because he has a lot of political ammunition to work in his favor, not only decimate corporate media. And again, a Trump win doesn't mean a win for us, but he could, in theory, really rip open all of his competitors, the establishment, if he wanted to be smart about it.
And you saw the excitement from liberals. I can tell. I can read the context. Like when they were all quoting about, they were tweeting about Trump announcement. NPR had the ridiculous headline. You can tell they could not wait. This was a holiday for them. Don't let them fool you.
They need
that's
that.
Why I love what you said. They love this, and this is why a lot of white liberals and a lot of NATO left media establishment, they hate RBN because they can't come to terms with the fact that they benefited from Donald Trump. They benefited from the grift of Bernie Sanders. RBN, Revolutionary Blackout, is 100% post-Trump and post-Bernie Sanders. We build our audience in an off election year after the Bernie Sanders movement died. A lot of these people are scrambling because they don't know how to message post-Bernie. We picked up the anger of the working class left, the anger of the black and brown left that was ignored, and they are just floundering. They have no idea what to do. Now, Donald Trump announced best thing to ever happen to them, because we all see them now. Go ahead, Kay. I'll let you chime in. Go ahead.
Well, they need him in order to be relevant. They need him to start making money again. They need him in order to build, again, this army of followers on social media. And brace yourself for this one, Nick, all right? And I hope this doesn't get taken out of context, but I promise you this. You're going to see a tweet, if Twitter's still around, or some kind of article or video from somebody. And I don't know who it'll be, but I could see it being written this way or some form or another. And again, don't get this thing taken out of context, everyone, but you're going to see headlines of black people. You need to vote with the Democratic Party because Trump is doing this. Be better. Or you're gonna see the same thing like Latinos. This is your time to stop Trump. Here you go. LGBTQIA. Get ready. We got to work to stop Trump. Everyone, if you're upset about the Democrats now, just wait. We got to be pragmatic. Everyone, black people, Latino people, every color of the rainbow, you got to help us and rally around to stop Trump. And they're going to ask you for money. They're going to ask you to sign petitions. They're going to ask you to, hold a rally and do anything more, but anything fundamental, anything that's going to be substantial for change, they're going to tell you, well, wait, we can't worry about that just right now. We got to stop Trump. We got to stop him. You're going to see something like that. And, just brace yourself. Pretend to be shocked, everyone. So work on your shocked face when you see a headline or headlines that are somewhat written just the way I said right here. Just be prepared. And of course, knowing social media, this video clip will be taken out of context, and somebody's gonna say, "Oh, look at that Kit Cabello. He's a pro-Trumper for saying that, or he's not gonna do this because he's a pro." Get the hell out of here! Don't waste my time.
No, we don't believe you people. You need more people. Like Jay just said, we don't believe you. You need more people. People see through you. People see through the smear jobs of RBN and of Kit. So I want to get to this part as well, because this is explaining the grift. Once again, people are super excited for Trump 2024. You already see progressive media churning and trying to get people excited over Bernie 2024.
They're
going to do it again. They're gonna do it
not.
again, kid. They're really gonna do it again.
I'm not. Look, I remember the 2016 convention at the Wells Fargo Center in Philadelphia. I saw firsthand how Bernie Sanders supporters and delegates and Green Party supporters were being violently assaulted by Clinton supporters. Okay, honestly, I couldn't tell the difference. Dare I say it, a MAGA rally would be more civil than what I saw in the Wells Fargo Center. Okay, they talk about peace and love in 2016. That's not what I saw. So debate me. If a lot of people were inside, I saw what's happening on the outside. I saw people getting hit, spit on, assaulted, groped, all that kind of stuff. Like, it wasn't good. And I spoke to delegates, and they all told me the same story. What was happening to them? We all saw the videos. Never forget the Wells Fargo Center. There were snipers in front of the who were honed in on the activists who were protesting around that area. And CNN or MSNBC was filming it, and then they quickly changed it to Boys to Men dancing on the stage. Look, folks. See that? That's what's happening. And then in 2020, you have the pandemic and other situations tailor-made by the gods for Bernie Sanders to capitalize. And not once, but twice, he let his movement die.
Yep.
He let it happen. I had the audacity to think he would be ready in 2020. That's my mistake. I was actually excited for him in 2020.
I was too.
And seeing the movement die, just like that, die in the vine because of Obama's infamous Super Tuesday phone call. I'm like, well, if you run again in 2024, how long will it be till he's just like, oh, I'm just we gotta stop Trump?
And I have to emphasize the energy of the Bernie movement didn't die organically, and I'm explaining what I mean by that. There was people after Bernie Sanders dropped out. We was like, all right, let's find a way to brainstorm and continue to promote the idea that the Bernie Sanders campaign promoted: Medicare for all. Right, running in the military-industrial complex. Like, we wanted to continue the message from the Bernie campaign. After Bernie pulled out, Bernie and his crew gave up. And at that point, they had a different mission. The mission wasn't to promote a political revolution. It was to rein in the overly radicalized Bernie supporters, to rein me in. A lot of people, whenever they talk about this, they always leave this out. They always leave out the fact that I literally canvassed Bernie Sanders in multiple states. Literally, I was in South Carolina for 8 weeks. There is not many people. 99% of people in this movement have not done anything, have not done what I have done for the Bernie movement. Period. And that's the part they always leave out. I was a part of your strategy. We splintered. One side joined the establishment. The other side started to brainstorm outside movement strategies and other ways to implement the policies. So the Justice Democrats and Bernie Sanders and the squad, their job was to rein in the radicals, rein in the people who were speaking out against the Democratic Party and put them back into the party and get them to shut the fuck up. And what we said is, no, that we're not going to shut up. We're going to call you people out the same way that you guys would call out someone who was lobbying for. Imagine if someone was openly campaigning for Donald Trump. Imagine the way Bernie and his media acolytes would call those people out. I view, as I said earlier, if you support Donald Trump, that's the same as voting for supporting Joe Biden, Democratic Party. So I call you guys out because you complicit with imperial capitalism the same way that someone who supports Republicans do. You guys are just Democratic Party operatives, the same people who apologize for Bernie grift. And I'm going to show this. I know you got a lot of thoughts, so I'll share this.
No, it's okay. Go, share it.
Yeah, I'll share this. I'll get it to you because like me and Kid, man, it's always fun talking to you. We can go all day.
Of course, because right now I'm a little angry. Why not say angry?
Yeah, we didn't even get to the main story yet.
Yeah,
we're 30 minutes in. We still warming up. So this is why I love having Kid on. You see, this is my friend, Comrade Misty. Gotta bring her back soon. Always like having her on for every few weeks too. Anyone get called a grifter? If you call out a politician, if you debunk Russiagate, if you debunk NATO lies, if you hold the ruling class accountable, you must be doing that because you're a grifter. It can't be because we care. It can't because I'm black and poor and I'm a victim of these policies. No, it can't be that. It must be that I must want some sort of attention or something. Meanwhile, the people who are the biggest grifters, I explained earlier in the stream, are the politicians. And if you guys see our media critiques and our critique of the NATO left, I rarely call them grifters. I don't even use that in my critique. It's a lazy critique because I didn't attack you guys on your policy positions. But when you look at the definition of a grifter, it is literally someone selling ideas that they do not believe for profit. Repeat after me, guys. For the million of people who do not know what grifter means, it means people who promote ideas that they truly do not believe in, but they do so for profit.
So I
Go
found
ahead.
a definition for grifter too in the great big book of words. Grifter. Hang on, we're all going to get our learn on here on Revolutionary Blackout Network. If there's one type of person you don't want to trust, it's a grifter. Someone who cheats others out of money. Okay. Grifters are also known as chiselers, defrauders, gougers, scammers, swindlers, and flim-flam men. Selling a bridge or starting a Ponzi scheme are things a grifter might do. The difference between a grifter and a thief is a grifter tricks you out of money through lies, while a thief takes it by force. The end result is the same. Definition for grifter: noun, a person who swindles you by means of deception or fraud. So let's say, okay, so Jimmy Dore has been called a grifter. HLM, RBN, Convo Couch, which I got to say, okay, what was the policy or idea that we grifted on? What we're just calling out the hypocrisy of the two-party system. Now, I could think of I don't know, a place called TYT, for example, that created a thing called Justice Democrats. It turns out to be a movement that just got ate up by the corporate Democrats because they didn't have any means to really hold any of those said Justice Democrats accountable, who no longer even show up on TYT. You have other people saying support us or help us support the Democratic Party because we got to do this, that, because the Democrats will help protect women's reproductive rights or student debt forgiveness or so much more. You know, again, the word grifter is being thrown around a lot, but obviously the people who are saying it, especially to those who are calling out the two-party system, they need to take a good long look at themselves in the mirror, because obviously they don't know the meaning of grifter.
Yeah, big shout out to our friends at the Convo Couch. They get called. Anyone who calls out the Democratic Party and the two-party duopoly, I see get called that term. And people, and y'all think we don't see that? The biggest grifters, as he just outlined, are people who say stuff they don't believe in to sell and trick people. That is what the political revolution was, to trick you into thinking that they were going to have a revolution, so you can send them money. Look at this ratio. I had about 1,500 likes, so this was it was a popular tweet, but it was very controversial. How many? Like 100,000 impressions. This tweet was going around everywhere because people were like, "Oh my God, RBN's calling Bernie a grifter." A lot of people agree with me too, by the way. But man, I took a ton of heat for this. Some people can say I got cooked depending on your perspective, right? But because this is an old story, I'll just pull this up on top of my head. I said this is what a grifter looks like. I've been calling Bernie a grifter for like over a year now, and every time I do, the Bernie single fans lose their goddamn mind. But as you outlined, this shit right here, Bernie's about to sell another book on the political revolution after completely cucking to Joe Biden, after cucking to the military-industrial complex. He's still doing it.
So
this
what
is
I got,
a grifter. I promise, guys, I do not use that term often. When I criticize other media, I don't even call them grifters. I call politicians in their media, in their PACs, Justice Democrats, the people on top, they're the biggest grifters we will ever see. Do you guys understand? And not someone who has an opinion you disagree with, you children. That's what most people, he said something I disagree with. He's a grifter. That's not what it means.
So what I gotta say, I'm glad that people got upset with that tweet. All right, I'm glad. All right, and you should never ever hold anything back. Never hold anything back, Nick. And I say this because, for all those sycophants who got so offended because you call Bernie a grifter, gee, why are they following you when a lot of them like to block anyone that threatens their little fancy safe space world? Look, the world is not a liberal arts college. All right, it is a violent, cruel, and brutal place, and it will bleed you dry and leave you there to rot away, and no one's going to give a damn. And the only way we could stay above the chaos is by actually waking up to the fact that we are being screwed over, right? The world is violent. It is not pretty. And yes, there are incidences where, again, we come together, we could fight for that better future. But I think what a lot of these Bernie Sanders sycophants need to realize is that he's not the knight on the hill. He's not the person that's going to save you. Neither is AOC. Neither is Trump. They don't care. They don't care. They don't care. Why? Because they don't respect any of you. And they never will, as have the other politicians in the past. They don't give a damn about you. We are the knights on the hill. We are the ones that have to help each other out. We have to keep an eye on our people so that we are never again put in this situation. That means, again, building movements that are not connected to Washington, D.C. And it will be a long, arduous uphill fight. But if we don't start doing it now, the next generation is going to be scammed over too.
Well said, Kid. And just for the sake of time, because we got 20 minutes left.
I'm so sorry. I'm sorry about ranting. I'm so sorry.
No, this was fun. This is a fun conversation. I'm gonna get to the main story just so it's not clickbait. Just so this story, just because I'm not trying to clickbait you guys, but you see, it was a good conversation. You know what I mean? I don't want to cut off a great conversation while it's happening. I'll feel bad for cutting off right then. So if you're enjoying this, please like and subscribe, share, because I'm gonna get to the main story. Jon Stewart promoting war criminals. I don't know if you've seen this clip. It doesn't really matter because actually your live reaction will be pretty funny too. A lot of times when I do my shows with CJ, he would send me like videos. I was like, nah, I'll wait. Since I know you plan this segment, I'll wait because I want to get my live reaction. And that's why I think the Nick and CJ show works, because a lot of times you see CJ prepare a video. A lot of times CJ be like, what you want to talk about today? I won't tell him. I'm like, I don't really got nothing that much. Then I'll pull a segment out of nowhere just so I can see his real reaction. It's always funny. So I don't know if you've seen this, but I'm gonna get your take on this as well.
I saw a minute and I had to put it down. I saw a minute of it, so I haven't seen it in full entirety.
I watched like 1 minute. I watched like 1 minute and I rage quit. So we're only gonna watch, for the sake of our YouTube channel not getting pulled, we're gonna watch the promotional clip they put on Twitter, which is not against copyright because that's the clip they put out there. So we're gonna watch that. Only 5 minutes. We see how far we can get into it. I watched 1 minute of the Jon Stewart, Hillary Clinton, and Condoleezza Rice, and I threw my hands up, said, "What the fuck?" Now, my opinion of Jon Stewart, unlike the Social Democrats, is not really high, but it's unbelievable how he keep reaching new lows. You know what I mean? When I didn't have discipline, I make fun of myself all the time. The same way, you know how like Gen Z people are tricked by Vosh. You got a lot of them watching cringe ass shit, like. A lot of them watch Voss, Dylan, Hassan Piker, and I give a lot of these people grace. I said this before, even when me and Hassan had our little beef or whatever. I gave them grace because I was like, "Hey guys, I remember when I was young, I liked Jon Stewart and Stephen Colbert, so I can't really rip on the same Gen Z people who like Voss and Hassan Piker because I'm hoping they go on the same trajectory than I did. I used to watch Jon Stewart. I'm like, man, this guy really speaking truth to power. Well, I was a teenager."
Yeah,
Why the Comedy Central? Please don't roast me for that. But the same way that like Gen Z people watch Vosh and them YouTube, Twitch, the Twitch edgy streamers, that was like kind of me with Jon Stewart. Like, man, I look back at that. They're gonna look back. I promise you. All the people who watch Vosh, they're gonna look back at that shit when they're 30 years old and cringe. I promise you. I promise you. I promise you. So let's go to the story because there are some people who still think Jon Stewart is a good faith actor. And you can have a debate. And if you want to put back on me, that's fair enough. Because I actually am kind of conflicted on whether Jon Stewart is just a straight out sellout or is he just dumb? You know what I mean? Because he's kind of a comedian. Is he really reading between the lines on geopolitical issues? He's rich. Does he really give a fuck? Or is he just a 100% sellout? And I'll be honest with you guys, not sure which one it is yet. Leave a comment if you guys if you got a theory, you want to know which one it is. Let me know. Leave a chat. Can you have anything you want to add before we start the video?
Everyone, don't rage. Hit your phone. Don't throw it against the wall, please.
So just for the sake of time, I'm not gonna prefix the story that much. Let's just watch it. Jon Stewart, the guy who fights to death for veterans to get health care. Not saying shit about Medicare for all though. Like those are the kind of things that expose. And I remember looking back at it critically now. Because remember, I was a kid when I used to like Jon Stewart, right? I didn't have the kind of critical analysis of the global politics. Jon Stewart, looking back at it, I know what he was doing now. Like he would talk about problems, and then he'd be like, "This is because of Fox News, and because of Fox News is lying to you." You guys know he was obsessed with Fox News. He's like, "All our problems is because of Fox News. All our problems is because of these goons in the Republican Party." And Jon Stewart would call out Democrats every once in a while. But he would thread that needle with saying, "Oh, this is only because of Republicans, right?" He didn't really have a critical analysis of the Iraq War. He might say the Iraq War is bad, but he won't. He didn't do segments exploiting the corruption. He had a lot of blind spots. But I can explain that all day. But for the sake of time, let's just get to the video, and you will guys see the new level of shit liberty of Jon Stewart. And man, it's unbelievable how low this guy keeps sinking. So Let's watch.
You know, just very briefly on Libya, because that was on my watch.
But this is not, again.
No,
this
but
is
my
not
point,
the-
but I want to make a larger point because,
Oh God.
you know, Gaddafi was a bad actor. Everybody knew he was a bad actor, and he threatened to kill his people by cockroaches. The United States was actually the supporter of European countries through NATO and the Arab League, which for the very first time.
So explain to me, guys. Yeah, I'm trying to hold this back because I don't want to keep Kit here too long. But Gaddafi is a bad actor. And the reason why they really say that is because he wanted to create a pan-African currency and a pan-African league of African countries that will resist Western imperialism. So Gaddafi is a bad actor. So we're going to help the Libyan people by overthrowing him, by promoting radical jihadist groups that will leave a vacuum that creates the African slave state as we know it today.
Yeah. It went from a modern society to, again, slave trade happening there. So
one of the most impressive, one of the wealthiest African countries at the time under Gaddafi, because he introduced a ton of social programs. Now, these people, you look at Condoleezza Rice, when you look at Hillary Clinton, these are the most evil people. I'll let it play a little more. Jesus Christ. I made 30 seconds. 30 seconds, guys. I really want to let it play a little bit more. And can you chime in after I play for a little bit here?
The United States was actually the supporter of European countries through NATO and the Arab League, which for the very first time came and said, we want to be part of trying to protect the people of Libya. Now, so I feel that that particular intervention.
I'm sorry, I have to say one more thing, because it's something I don't see a lot of people bring up, like in anti-imperialist journalism. One of the reasons why the United States decided to go after Gaddafi, despite all the bullshit, we literally, I just did a segment explaining how we give protection to Saudi Arabia as they kill journalists. Do you guys really think it's about human rights? Anyone who truly believes that is a child and a clown of the highest order. And I'm talking about the TYT crowd. I'm talking about the Vox people who literally say it's a good thing that we got rid of Gaddafi because he's a quote-unquote tyrant. It had nothing to do with that at all. It's because Gaddafi was rejecting U.S. hegemony. They got rid of him, and he made a critical mistake, the one that the DPRK is not making. And unlike other media outlets, I am telling you guys, Nicolas Maduro, as I explained, has done an amazing job protecting Venezuela from Western aggression. The DPRK has done an amazing job. You would never. Oh, what Nick? What you say? Yeah, I said it. You guys never hear that, right? So why did Kim Jong Un? Why is he refusing to give up his nuclear weapons? Kim Jong Un. Why? They say, oh my God, DPRK is a militaristic country that refuses to give up their nukes. Why do you guys think that is? And they explain this all the time. Kim Jong Un explained all the time. I am not giving up my nukes because I saw what you guys did to Gaddafi. Do you guys know? They told Gaddafi, if you denuclearize, they will lay off. And then he was like, oh shit, all right, let me get rid of my nukes. He got rid of nukes. They're like, he don't got nukes anymore. He don't got nukes. They fuck him up. So the DPRK, they saw that and they like, nigga, I saw what you did to Gaddafi. We are never, ever getting rid of our nukes. And I say this, they shouldn't.
And by the way, again, how he met his end and how it was celebrated. And remember, forget that Hillary Clinton did say, "We came, we saw, he died." And what else happened too? Oh, I don't know. Open slave trade, barbarism taking place, madness and insanity. And I do know this: if this happened to us, if somebody did this to our country, the American people would be screaming bloody murder, right? If somebody did that to us. But the thing is, it is happening to us. We are being screwed over by our own politicians.
So let's continue the video. I'll let it play a little bit, and I'll give you a reaction afterwards because we are almost at time.
We had certain capabilities militarily that nobody else had, which we used to assist them. But, you know, the Emiratis were flying and the Jordanians were flying, etc. The problem, and this is where I think you make a really good point. The problem is, okay, Gaddafi's gone. His horrible prisons are emptied. What comes next?
Right.
What comes next?
And why is she pretending that's a question that you asked yourself before you destabilize the region? You guys see these fucking... I can't even make it 20 seconds in this video. Can you imagine these motherfuckers trying to come on RBN and pull this off? She's trying to pretend that the Obama administration, with her as Secretary of State, was considering what would happen after Gaddafi was overthrown. You guys did not care. Hillary Clinton... I'm getting mad. I'm sorry. I'm literally screaming. I'm literally so fucking mad.
Don't worry.
So mad.
She'll probably make her announcement in 2024 that she's running again too. So there you go.
I apologize. I toned it down. Now I'm screaming. This shit made me so mad. She is literally pretending that she is doing what she's suggesting here. She's going on Jon Stewart's show to whitewash her crime of turning Libya to a slave state. When you make the decision to take out Gaddafi, you gotta wonder what happens after he's gone. The power vacuum. You mean what you didn't do? What is this, Jon Stewart? How are you not pushing back? Are you dumb? That's why I asked the question: is it dumb or corruption?
You know what this is? You know what this reminds me of? It reminds me of when Kyle was told to sit in the corner of his own show when Crystal Ball had Bernie Sanders on. He was just like, just ask the safe questions. Here you go. Get the views in, and that's it. That's what I compare this interview to. Crystal's softball interview with Bernie Sanders.
This is, like, I said this in my tweet. I told you guys I didn't have a high opinion of Jon Stewart before this. But this is how you completely ruin all your credibility, where it's like you get no benefit of the doubt after this. Because this is horrific. Like, this is how you completely tank any credibility that anyone had for you should be gone after this. Can you imagine if they come on our show, said not just mine, but Heartland's Media, Combo Cow, Jimmy, any show trying to pull this off? This is unbelievable. Let's see if we can get another minute.
On a personal note, like sometimes interviewing, like even people with the Democrat or Republican Party, like for example, I've interviewed third party candidates, but honestly, like with Democrats or Republicans, it's like a part of me thinks like, should I even care to interview these politicians anymore?
You guys notice I haven't. I declined quite a few people. I'm not gonna say who, 'cause I don't want to like throw shade, but I declined quite a few people. Like they were like, I'm a progressive Democrat. Yeah, I know you guys are Democrats, but I like RBN messages. Yeah, I don't like Democrat Party either, but I got different. Nah. I'm not gonna say any names, but there have been quite a few people who reached out. I'm a progressive Democrat. Hey, yeah, I saw you call out the Israel issue. I'm not like the other ones. I'm actually strong. I stand for the Palestinians. Nah, I don't believe you. Leave the party. Anyway, let's continue this a little bit longer.
That's always a problem because there's always a vacuum. Because look, dictators don't allow institutions to flourish. So when you take the dictator out, there are no institutions. That's right. So but the question becomes: do you then say
I'm gonna let it play just for the sake of time, but please, I really hope you guys understand what she's saying is bullshit. I don't got time, but please understand. This is so horrible. 1 minute and 16 seconds. I let it play just for the viewing pleasure, you guys. But I'm tapping out. This is next level propaganda. This is Morning Joe level propaganda. I told you guys, I think Morning Joe is I wonder what Kit thinks, but Morning Joe is, I think, the best propaganda show. They got their shit in line.
Hey,
this
wait,
is up there. This
wait,
is Morning
but,
Joe
but,
level.
but, look, I know we're running short on time. So look, here's the thing. I know this is your show, but I do this on Heartland's Media. Hey, to all the lovely people who are watching Revolutionary Blackout Network right now, we got 533 people. Let's have democracy in the chat. Type 1, if you remember that good old Joe Scarborough actually has a scandal surrounding him, and somehow now he has a great popular show, especially when he was in office. Type 2, if you never heard of it, and you're going to Google it right now.
Much love to Kit here. Kit from Heartland's Media, Jimmy. I'll let it rewind and I'll let it play for 2 minutes. I promise, guys. No critical analysis. I already saw my bed where it said Nick, let the video play challenge. You guys know I struggle getting through this so much, but I'll rewind it and I'll let it play for 2 minutes so you guys see the propaganda in full glory, and I'll get you out here, Kit, after that.
Point. The problem is, okay, Gaddafi's gone.
Mm-hmm.
His horrible prisons are emptied. What comes next?
Right.
What comes next?
And that's always a problem because there's always a vacuum. Because look, dictators don't allow institutions to flourish. So when you take the dictator out, there are no institutions. That's right. So But the question becomes, do you then say, let Gaddafi go ahead and kill his people because it's going to be hard afterwards? Or in our case, we thought Saddam Hussein had weapons of mass destruction. You're going to let that continue, or are you going to take him out and then do the best that you can in helping people to recover? You have to recognize that it's going to be hard once you take the dictator out. But John, it's a little bit of a false choice to say, well, then just leave the dictator in place because it won't be chaotic. It may not be chaotic.
I guess what I'm saying is,
it may not be chaotic.
If we take
but
that
it might be
role
brutal
on,
against the people.
If we take that role on, can we sustain as a country? You know, when you think about the Soviet Union's collapse, they overextended and they got in an arms race with us, and they had all these satellites. Are we overextending America's power, especially militarily, when you talk about an $800 billion defense budget?
Let's assume instead of being in a podcast studio, we were in a situation, right? Or, you know, in the tank, in the Defense Department, wherever we were. Okay. And we're saying, okay, what do you see on the horizon? Well, North Korea is shooting these missiles over our ally, Japan.
Right.
China is trying.
Why do you guys think they're doing that, you fucking liars? They're doing that because you guys started it with South Korea. I let it play.
And to build up its blue water navy so that it can compete with us anywhere in the world.
Mm-hmm.
You've got, you know, the Russia-China relationship. It's tricky, but we have to watch it really carefully because we don't know where that might lead. We've got Iran, still a very bad actor, and probably in addition to killing their people, will cause some external problems in order to take people's minds off it. We have a lot of issues. So do we just sit back and hope for the best, or do we try to be positioned in enough places with enough support that we can be a good ally to those who are counting on us?
And you have to watch the...
We got 2 more minutes here, kid.
Yeah.
But that was something else. I think we played. I'll play the last part of Condoleezza and we wrap it up. That's unbelievable. Everything she said was a lie. For example, when she talked about how the North Koreans are launching military exercises, you know, they did that in response to the U.S. and South Korea launching military exercise in their sovereign area as well. So they get mad at DPRK for doing exactly what they did first. It's unbelievable how effortlessly these people lie. Oh, Jesus Christ. I'll just play a little bit more and I'll get your last thoughts, kid.
Potential rise of terrorism again. So you have a lot on your plate. But I would just say, should the United States be selective in the use of its military power?
Right.
Yes.
Right.
After Afghanistan and Iraq, which we did for security reasons, not because we wanted to spread democracy
for security reasons. Do y'all niggas really believe that? I apologize. This is infuriating.
Gunpoint. But for security reasons.
Although ultimately we were told that spreading democracy would make the world safer because freer countries would.
Wait. Stop. I'm so sorry. But last I checked, when the war in Iraq was happening, you know, we were told that there were weapons of mass destruction there. But there weren't any. Okay, that was a lie. Spreading democracy. Is there more democracy all over the place? The answer is no. There isn't. Okay. There was more instability that took place. Now, look, I want to see a world where there's democracies and republics and people are having dialogue and helping out their citizenry and so much more. But the war in Iraq, the war in Afghanistan opened the floodgates for more insanity to take place. So, no, democracy wasn't spread. Human rights wasn't spread. What spread afterwards was unending, meaningless war. And you have people like Hillary Clinton who contributed to it. People like the Bushes, the Clintons, the Obamas, the Kennedys. Anyone that has dynastic power in Washington, D.C., they contributed to it. And that will be our overall legacy as a nation if we as citizens don't say enough. Because one day, maybe I won't live long enough to see it, and I hope I don't, we as a people might need help. This country might be on its knees. I don't know what could cause it. Maybe some pandemic, maybe some economic disaster, some force of nature, whatever. And we'll need help from the world. We might need help. And I don't think the rest of the world will be so keen in helping us after a lot of damages our government has done. So, which is why I say we got to build movements and organizations not connected to Washington, D.C., because the American people don't need to have 2 degrees or 3 degrees of separation. We need to have a full 180 degrees of separation from those jagoffs in Washington, D.C., who are doing this harm to the rest of the world. These politicians don't care. They care about their money. They care about the money, their money. They care about their name and legacy, not yours or your family's safety. So if you vote Democrat, you vote Republican, you're in an abusive relationship. Take off the sunglasses. Show me your black eye. You're better than this. Oh, I can't hear you, my friend. Oh, I can't hear you, dude. Nick, hey, you're muted. Nick, you're muted. You're muted. Can't hear you.
Oh, my bad. Sorry. Sorry, my bad, guys. So anyway, we're gonna end it there. We ended there. I'm gonna get Kit any last thought. I was about to ask him your last thought. As you guys see, these people are the most evil people. The way they're nonchalantly lying about war, and the way they can do it so casually. And Kit, last thought. They criticize independent media and they call people grifters. Like, I remember people got mad because I had Glenn Greenwald on, right?
Oh no, you had a person on your show. Oh no, how could you? What's wrong with you? I'm going to have brunch with my white liberal friends and say that Nick is a bad man. No, come on, dude. Don't apologize to nobody.
Yeah, this guy is right. Nick is so triggered by Condoleezza Rice. I'm out of it. Yeah, that video was way more infuriating than I thought it would be. I told you guys, I only watched a minute, so the last like 2.5 minutes that we watched is like raw reaction. I literally cannot believe the lies that Jon Stewart allowed in the past. So yeah, I was really, I was literally shouting to the mic like, I need to compose myself. Anyway, this is a great tweet by Jimmy because once again, I took a ton of heat just for even having conversations with Jimmy, right? So we get criticized for talking to people we disagree with. But Jon Stewart can have literally bloodthirsty war criminals on. And that's okay. Can we be consistent? For example, I don't care who you have on your show. I think you should push back on those people. But there are people who say, oh my God, you can't form these alliances with these people you disagree with. And this is a line I wish you guys understand. For the people who are upset because we don't have any issue with Jimmy Dore. We don't have Jimmy Dore derangement syndrome. Vanguard is really upset because we don't have Jimmy Dore derangement syndrome like they do. I want to emphasize this. The worst person who is anti-war is better than the best person who is pro-war. Do you guys understand? Mm-hmm. Let me repeat that. I'm going to say it the other way. The best person who is pro-war is worse than the worst person who is anti-war. Are we clear? So these people can have these great conversations with neocons, war criminal. Ro Khanna can be friends with Bill Kristol. Bernie Sanders can be friends with war criminals like Joe Biden. So these people can buddy up with pro-war people. But if I have a LaRouche on about them talking about war, people flip out. And I can disagree with a LaRouche on everything else, but them calling out nuclear war immediately makes you better than anyone else who don't. The worst anti-war person is better than the best pro-war person. Period. And this is what Jimmy said. He said, good thing it's just 2 blood-soaked war criminals he interviewing and not a Boogaloo boy. You know that's not allowed. And this is what the part I want to cover this as well. Just calling out this double standard. This obvious bullshit double standard where the establishment, they can have conversations with people that they disagree with on very giant things. But if I have a conversation with Jimmy Dore because we agree on anti-war principles, people are like, oh my God, you're a Dorite. Ignoring all the other people we communicate with, right? But this is hypocrisy. And I will continue to advocate and have conversations with people who are anti-war. That is a very powerful uniting principle. I will have Glenn Greenwald on. We'll continue to have relations with Jimmy, Kit from Harlan's Media, Combo Couch, because people who are anti-war are infinitely better than people who are pro-war. Are we clear? Jon Stewart and these people have the moral high ground over nobody. Bernie Sanders and the NATO left have the moral high ground over nobody. Last thoughts, kid. You also can do shout outs too. In your last thoughts.
So first, again, Harlan's Media. We're live every Monday through Friday at 4 p.m. Central Standard Time on YouTube, Odyssey, Rockfin, Rumble, and Twitch. We appreciate all the support we do get. Please double check not only you're still subscribed to RBN, but also Hardlens Media, because YouTube does like to unsubscribe people. And so again, it's important for independent media to collaborate and work together. We're going to need each other, especially for the madness in 2024, because it will get real, it will get stupid, and you're going to see a lot of white liberals panicking and telling people to vote a certain way. You, the audience, don't owe anyone your vote. These people in Washington, D.C. don't respect you, so you don't have to respect them. It's up to all of you to critically think for yourselves and absorb the information that we do share on independent media and come to your own conclusions as well. We need to work together to fight for a better future, because if we don't, we will get screwed over and the madness will still continue on. And by the way, look, Jimmy Dore does his show in a garage. He is not the end-all, be-all problem of the world, but because people have Trump derangement syndrome, they want to find anyone and anything that makes their worldview uncomfortable. Dare I say it, a lot of these white liberals, get them in a private conversation, and they're no better than Trump. They're just like him, but he says things that they want to say. So that's the truth about these white liberals panicking over Trump or anyone else panicking over him. Guess what? There's no fundamental difference between the Republican Party or the Democratic Party. Why? Because they don't like you. They don't think about you. And the last one of all that should upset all of you the most, they never will respect you. Simple.
Well said, kid. Always fun talking to you, brother. Thank you for joining us on RBN Saturdays. Make sure you guys check out Kit from Harlan's Media. We also have a lot of great content coming your way. Boy, CJ is a workhorse. This boy cannot chill. He got a live stream coming in an hour. That's why I want to give him plenty of time. I didn't want to go over his time. I just want to drop by for an hour. Kid, it was a great conversation. Hope you guys liked it. Hope you guys subscribe. I also have a link to the Patreon in the description if you guys want to drop us $3. That will help us continue to grow and expand. I appreciate you guys all for your support. Once again, more content coming today. We got CJ. His live starts 45 minutes. It's 3 p.m. Central, 4 p.m. Eastern time. And on Monday, we're going to have the amazing, the brilliant Margaret Kimberly from Black Agenda Report. She will join Nick and CJ. One of my favorite people to talk to, one of the great mentors. That I view Margaret Kimberly and the people at Black Power Media, even Black Power Media as well, as kind of like mentors to RBN. So it's good to talk to Margaret again. That will be on Monday. So make sure you guys set your calendars. We are bringing a lot of great content. I got a lot of great guests I'm working on bringing on next week. So make sure you guys click the bell, support the Patreon, and help us continue to grow. I appreciate you guys. Have a great weekend. See you guys.